the Army, the Navy, the Unstoppable. Welcome back, man. Listen, we got that boy YNW Melly, man. We about to get into this YNW Melly story, man. What's the title? The Disturbing World of YNW Melly, now facing death penalty. Listen, free Melly. Free Melly. Y'all know how we rocking, man. Free Melly, man. But we gonna go into this and watch this video. See what Patrick CC talking about, man. We gonna smoke up, you know what I mean? I know the vibes, man. I ain't forcing you to smoke up, but if you got some, spark it up with me, man. We gonna get right into this together, gang. So look, man, let's get right into it. I don't want to waste too much time. Let's go.
YNW Melly has been in jail for the last 1,438 days. For 4 years.
Damn, 1,400 days, bro. 1,400 days and my son not convicted, bro. You see how these do you? 1,400 days and he's not convicted, boy. Bro, they slaying niggas behind that wall, bro. The judge is slaying niggas, bro. He ain't even get sentenced yet. And they say, yeah, sit there. That's crazy, bro.
The world has been wondering if the rapper is in fact guilty of premeditated murder, with the victims being his two best friends that he has known since elementary school. As of right now, the death penalty is a potential fate for him. But just before he got arrested, he released his collaboration with Kanye West that skyrocketed his fame. He had multiple songs generating millions of views and streams, and was on his way to being the next SoundCloud superstar. When the news broke that he was being investigated, people
Facts, Melly fire. Melly got mad hits. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. Mad hits. I rock with Melly.
Started to scrutinize him. His lyrics were shockingly descriptive. His interviews may have had clues that could tie him to this crime. His life in jail for the past 4 years has been rough, where he's being subject to inhumane treatment and borderline torture from the jail guards. As of today, YNW Melly is not guilty, but since we have not heard his defense yet, it's hard to imagine his innocence. Jamel Demons, yes, that's his real name, was born to mother Jamie Demons King.
I ain't even gonna lie, nigga. It's hard for the motherfucking judge to not judge you when your last name is Demons. Nigga was born cursed, bro. Last name Demons. Anybody who thinking you read your name automatically Demons. They like, oh nah, this nigga a demon. What you gonna think he anything other than? Yo, why in the interrogation video, his mans try to say, oh, his last name is Demons. Nigga, it's Demons. Just say it, bro.
When she was just 14 years old. The teenager and her mother raised the boy at the Orangewood Park Apartments in Gifford, Florida. In kindergarten, Jamel met his first friend, Christopher Thomas, who we now know as YNW Juvie.
Bro, who's Melvin? This whole time I thought YNW name was Melvin. I swear, bro, I thought his name was Melvin, not Jamel.
When I walk in the kindergarten room, I see him, then he just started smiling and dancing, so it just made me happy. Now I want to be here.
Since his mother was so young, they moved around to various projects up and down eastern Florida. He still doesn't know who his father is. Jamie says her son was a great kid, quiet, smiley, loved to sing and dance, but Melly admits he had a dark side to him, one that he discovered when he was just 9 years old.
He had a little couch with a whole bunch of toys and shit under it, and I seen a toy gun. I was just playing with that bitch, like, pew, pew.
Then Melly discovers his uncle's real gun.
When I rolled, I hit my head under the couch. When I hit my head under the couch, I stayed up for a little bit. I seen some shit shining. It was a 22 revolver, a real.
Yo, any of y'all remember the first time y'all saw a real gun? Any of y'all remember? First time I saw a real gun, it was one of my mom's boyfriend she was with and shit that just came home from jail and all that. He had a little silver 38 snub nose. I went in there touching this shit, got in trouble and shit for that. You know the vibes.
I'm a kid though, so I just walk out the house and I shot that bitch. And I couldn't hear out my ear for like a week. But then I was like, damn, this a real gun, you know what I'm saying? If you up that bitch at a nigga and bust his ass, that's his soul and that, like, it's death in this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? All I gotta do is up this motherfucker in your ass, just you disappear, bitch. Real shit, bro. I like how them bitches look, for real.
Talking like this, man. Yo, you should never be talking like this, my nigga. You should never... I don't care if you a rapper trying to portray an image. Bro, you should never be talking like this because all of this is going to get used in court one day, bro. Like, you sound crazy, for one. Like, nigga, weapons are to defend yourself. Yes, you can take a life if a nigga trying to take yours. You know what I mean? That's what you need to say. Like, nigga, all of this other shit he talking about, nigga, don't know nothing about it.
Love them bitches.
Before Melly was 10 years old, he was infatuated with the power of having a weapon. In 7th grade, he brought a very large knife to school and threatened to unalive himself and another girl. It's pretty clear this young man was very deeply disturbed at a young age. Shifting his focus towards music was productive for him. In 8th grade, he recorded his first song.
Niggas be tripping, but never be body. You keep talking all this shit, and I'm a happy rockin' Prada. You's a punk nigga.
In 2015, YNW was formed. Jamel went by Melly, Christopher went by Juvie, Anthony Williams went by Sack Chaser. The rap crew started releasing music consistently on SoundCloud in mid-2015 and quickly gained support.
I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't know that YNW Melly and his two friends, the ones that both... I ain't know that they was like a rap crew for real, like starting off. I just thought it was Young Nigga World and they all just was rapping and shit. Let's see if this shit tie into the whole death shit. Let's see. Pay attention, bros.
From their classmates. But at the start of 10th grade, Melly caught his first case for firing a weapon at 3 upperclassmen in a school zone. Demons was charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of discharging a firearm in public. This got him expelled from school and locked up for 1 year at age 16. It was during this time that Melly decided to take his music career very seriously, so he got to work.
I just hope sometime I'll be home soon.
Yo, that's a fire song, that Mama, I'm Sorry. That, I ain't gonna lie. Melly got some fire, bro. Melly do.
Be long, I promise I will be okay.
Clearly, Melly had a gift. He has a very unique, raspy, yet deep cadence and naturally knows how to control his pitch. He spent his days behind bars writing love songs and murder ballads.
Girl, you know I love it when I'm next to you. Riding through the 772.
When he got released around October of 2016, he released his track 772 Love, which gained a lot of local support and some online buzz. He then previewed another track that he wrote behind bars that would end up changing his life.
I ain't getting roll no weed. I ain't getting roll no switches. I was locked up on Christmas. I ain't get to see my niggas. It's me.
Melly knew this track, Murder on My Mind, was going to be a big one. He eventually recorded the song on a whole new beat with a faster tempo and released it in March of 2017. This is where Melly started taking his social media presence very seriously, focusing on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Since he was on parole from his previous bid, the judge actually used this song as a violation of his parole because of its detailed lyrics of Melly fantasizing about murdering people, and thus he got locked up again. Now, using song lyrics to incriminate someone is illegal in some states, and a lot of people like to make the argument that it's just art, which is definitely true, but Melly, even outside of his music, has made multiple questionable statements that are too dark to ignore. It was during this second confinement where he really started to generate a following. It's unclear how much time he spent locked up, but he was now 17 years old, and around October of 2017, his team was promoting a #FreeYNWMelly campaign. His family and friends even produced and filmed an entire music video for his song 772 Love, which now has over 40 million views on YouTube. Upon his release in March of 2018, he was starting to explode. He immediately dropped a music for Melly the Menace and did a number of live performances in Florida.
Bro, Melly was really grinding, my nigga. Really grinding, dog. Like, and popping too. Like, son, when I found out about Melly, he ain't even have a big fan base. I ain't gonna lie, but that's because I always been on some, like, looking for the underground music, who extra fire and all that. Son, it felt like he came out of nowhere, but he really been grinding for a minute. It be like that.
His fame was leveling up. He released Blue Balenciagas, which would go on to do 70 million views. Released a track called
We gon' creep up with that, hop out with the jobbers. That's my shit, bro. Blue Balenciagas.
Pecan, and he was traveling around the country and enjoying his freedom. All the while, Murder on My Mind was generating millions of views, and rap fans around the world were catching on to the YNW Melly wave. In fact, a lot of artists like Young Thug, Lil Durk, T Grizzly, and Uzi were big fans of Melly before most other normal fans caught on. He was a lot of artists' favorite artist. Right after his 18th birthday, he got arrested again for possession of marijuana, possession of weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon, and drug paraphernalia. Cortland Henry, aka YNW Bortland, Melly's longtime friend, was also arrested for possession of a weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon. They both posted bonds and were released the following day. With Murder on My Mind exploding, it was time for him to record a music video, and it's too graphic for me to even show. But he visually depicts the aftermath of a crime scene where he shot a friend and the friend slowly dies in his arms. These lyrics have been psychoanalyzed, and even though he wrote this song many years ago, the song may have shockingly foreshadowed real events. I didn't even mean to shoot him, he just caught me by surprise. I reloaded my pistol, cocked it back, and shot him twice. His body dropped down to the floor and he got teardrops in his eyes. He grabbed me by my hands and said he was afraid to die. I told him, "It's too late, my friend, it's time to say goodbye," and he died inside my arms. In his first interview with No Jumper, his whole demeanor was strange, but he revealed something very interesting.
So what you got tattooed on your face? Tell me about it a little bit.
What? On my face?
Yeah. We got the heart on this side.
Heart.
What's that say above your eyebrow on that side?
Which side?
Oh, either one. What's it?
You know, I got Sat Chase right here. That's my brother and my twin.
Okay.
And I got Juvie.
Juvie?
My brother.
Just a lot of your friends who passed?
Yeah. Nah, them my niggas right there.
Oh, okay.
My brothers right there.
He said, "Those your friends who passed?" He said, "Nah, they're my niggas right there." That's awkward. Awkwardo.
My bad. I wouldn't get none of my friends tattooed on my face until they died.
Yeah,
I'm not a good friend like you are,
Adam is
apparently.
crazy.
This shit for life.
So Melly has his two best friends' name tattooed on his face. These types of tattoos are usually to commemorate lost ones, but in this case, they are alive and well for now. As Melly was finishing up his album We All Shine, one of Kanye West's writers, Sci-Hi the Prince, showed him Melly's music. Ye flew him out to LA to work on music, and when he got there, they had a pretty funny first meeting.
I was eating a pickle in his refrigerator. When I turned around, all I heard was, "Who pickle them is?" Then I was like, "Oh shit, that's Kanye, what the fuck?"
Pause.
Then he was like, "Hell yeah."
Pause. Eating a pickle when Kanye walked in? That's a big pause, Melly.
When the pickles been in there, I'm like, I don't know. I smashed that bitch. Then he came and he was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna touch those."
So Melly, his manager 100K Track, and Kanye are in the studio for 2 hours listening to music until he asks Melly to play some of his songs. And this is what happened.
Then we play Mixed Personalities, and he goes crazy. He's like, "Bruh, this is me. This is Ye. This is Kanye. This is Yeezy. This is me." And he's like, I'm like, damn. So me and Melly looking at each other like, damn, he fucking it. He like, "Bruh, I want to jump on this.
This is me. This
Right.
is easy."
He said, "I want to jump on this."
You could just imagine Kanye. You know how Kanye is, bro. Mad excited, mad extra, eccentric.
But then after I told him no, he was like, "Damn, why?" I was like, "Because we about to drop it. We're in the process." He's like, "Bro, whatever I got to do, I get it done, like, to be on the record, like, because this is really me, like, I'm feeling a connection to it."
Kanye resonated with the Mixed Personalities track, most likely because of his struggles with bipolar disorder, which Melly also admits he has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. They came together, filmed a music video with Cole Bennett, and it would ultimately get released. This is only the second SoundCloud artist that Ye collaborated with, before Donda. The other one was Lil Pump. So Melly just secured a ticket to superstardom with that feature. But just when things were looking great, a very, very dark day was around the corner. On October 26th, 2018, YNW Bortland, whose real name is Cortland Henry, shows up to Memorial Miramar Hospital with 2 dead bodies in his car. The victims were both on the right side, front and back seat. They were the bodies of Anthony Williams, aka YNW Sack Chaser, and Christopher Thomas, aka YNW Juvie, Melly's 2 childhood friends. The vehicle had 8 shots on the right side and 1 through the back window. The police asked what happened, and Bortland said they were victims of a drive-by shooting. He said he left the New Era recording studio in Fort Lauderdale, drove west on 595, then south on 75, and exited on Miramar Parkway heading west. He said on Southwest 160th, a vehicle passed by on his right side and started shooting. He ducked down to avoid being shot, and when he sat up, he saw his friends bleeding out, so he drove to the hospital, which was conveniently right around the corner. After this report, the detectives and officers shut down the crime scene and walked 12 blocks on foot. Not a single
Alright, y'all heard that, right? That all makes sense what he just said, kinda like, you know what I mean? They a drive-by shooting. Now I want to hear what he knows about the actual gunshots, where the gunshot wounds is at, and all that.
Of gunshots, nor evidence of a shooting was found. Bortland was tested for gunshot residue on his hands, but came back negative. The roommate, Dontavius Withers, Parkway heading west. He said on Southwest 160th, a vehicle passed by on his right side and started shooting. He ducked down to avoid being shot, and when he sat up, he saw his friends bleeding out, so he drove to the hospital, which was conveniently right around the corner. After this report, the detectives and officers shut down the crime scene and walked 12 blocks on foot. Not a single report of gunshots, nor evidence of a shooting was found. Bortland was tested for gunshot residue on his hands, but came back negative. The roommate, Dontavius Withers, of Sack Chaser and Juvie.
Bro, no reports of gunshots. Nobody on the street reported hearing gunshots. So the whole drive-by stuff that he claiming, no witnesses could say that they saw a drive-by or heard any gunshots. That's nuts.
Questioned by the police since he lived at their last known address. He said there were two cars when they left the studio, a gray Jeep, which is where the murder took place in, and a red Mitsubishi, which Withers said that he and Melly were in. He said he went straight home and found out later that his roommates were dead and didn't know where Melly was. But it was later proven that Withers lied about the situation. Before police showed up, he was with Melly at Fredo Bang's house. Withers changed his story and said that Melly was in the
At Fredo Bang house
Jeep when they left the studio, but then got into the Mitsubishi around Sheridan Ave when Withers Snapchatted him to pick him up. Police obtained security footage from the manager of the recording studio, which proved Melly left in the gray Jeep. He got into the back left seat. Remember, victims were in the front right and back right seats. Cell phone records show that Withers went straight home without stopping, so Melly never entered the Mitsubishi. When police investigated the Jeep, they found one .40 caliber shell casing on the floorboards where Melly was sitting. It was inside a white plastic bag. If this was a drive-by, there would not be shell casings inside of the car. This supports evidence that shots occurred from inside of the car. Police were able to obtain team...
Hold up. Somebody could have shot back. He could have been shooting back. Before y'all say, oh, why would they be, if that mean he did shoot them because of if niggas is shooting at you and you strapped, you gonna shoot back, right? So let's find out if they even got hit with .40 caliber shells.
Cell phone records that track their locations minute by minute. These records show that Melly, Bortland, Sack, and Juvie were all in the car together at the time of the murder. They did confirm that the Jeep exited on Miramar Parkway, but turned north on Southwest 184th and then west on Pines Boulevard at 353, and then turned back east at 406. This is enough time to make it all the way to the outskirts of the city where nothing is around, and back. The cell phone records also show that they were driving around the area west of I-75 before arriving to the hospital at 4:35. Melly's cell phone was separated from the car at 4:32, just 3 minutes before the Jeep arrived to the hospital. This is where people are assuming that Melly and Bortland were trying to get their story straight, driving around the city, and then ultimately Melly hopped out before Bortland took them to the hospital. Melly then FaceTimed his girlfriend saying that they were a victim of a drive-by and he needed to be picked up, which confirms that he was at the scene of the crime. So police knew that there were a lot of conflicting statements from witnesses, and even some...
Damn, I ain't even gonna lie. That shit, he FaceTimed his girl and said, yo, we got shot at. We was a victim of you know what I mean? Somebody shot at us in a drive-by. I ain't gonna lie. You're not about to pick up the phone and tell your girl, like, yeah, I just killed my two friends. You're not about to pick up you're not gonna do that. I'm just saying.
Up lies. They needed to conduct this investigation immediately. The next day when the news broke, YNW Melly took to Instagram and Facebook to grieve publicly, claiming that they took my brothers from me over jealousy. Melly proceeded with his career as usual. He released a documentary on his YouTube channel on December 4th, which featured Sack Chaser and Juvie, and a little bit about how close they were growing up. It also featured a section about how obsessed with guns Melly was. At the end of the documentary, it stated that 4 days after the completion of this film, YNW Melly and his friends were a target of a drive-by shooting. Then the Genius video dropped of Melly explaining the lyrics to his hit song Murder on My Mind, where he describes his love for guns and says he isn't a human murderer.
It's a murderer. I murdered a and I murdered a bee. I am not no human murderer.
But on January 3rd, 2019, he was arrested in Florida on weed charges. His sinister smiling mugshot went viral. Just 3 weeks later, while he was still locked up, Mixed Personalities dropped with a Lyrical Lemonade video. This was a huge moment for Melly and Cole Bennett, as Kanye was the first veteran superstar rapper he had worked with at that point. The song
That's clearly a major move. You got Kanye West on your song. Everybody's like, yo, he really on. All the niggas who watch you come, like, yo, he really on. Kanye on the song? You know how that go.
Mega viral, and Melly's fame exploded. This was the first time a lot of people have heard of him. He was about to become a mainstream artist, but on February 13th, just less than a month later, the investigation concluded, and a warrant for his arrest for the murder of his 2 friends was now official. He immediately turned himself in despite claiming his innocence. 2 weeks later, the evidence against Melly was released. Police discovered that YNW Portland lied about where the crime actually took place. The police used a canine to investigate the crime scene on Southwest 160th Street, which is where he reported the drive-by happened, but the dog found nothing. Officers then investigated a more rural area that they thought maybe was the crime scene, and the canine found some evidence. The dog discovered 8 .40 caliber shell casings and 2 types of glass that matched the front passenger and rear passenger window of the Jeep. So now they know the crime scene is not even close to where it was reported. This prompted them to investigate the vehicle again, and they decided to do a trajectory analysis using rods and strings to determine flight paths of projectiles. And they confirmed that there is no way this could have been a drive-by shooting based on the bullet paths and the wounds suffered by the victims. The police suspect that they parked the vehicle and staged a drive-by shooting before showing up to the hospital. When autopsy reports came back regarding the victims' wounds, the evidence shows the initial lethal shot occurred from inside the vehicle and was initiated from the left rear passenger side, the same position occupied by Demons, which is Melly.
Man, bro, they got evidence of this? This whole time I've been wondering, like, do they got evidence of this? They saying they got evidence of this, bro. Him being in the car when the shots went off, and where he was sitting is where the shots came from. This is nuts. I ain't gonna lie. This whole time I've been hoping and thinking that Melly innocent. I ain't saying I'm changing my mind right here, but sheesh.
Intermediate wound, by definition, would indicate a distance of 3 inches to 3 feet between the victim and the weapon. However, due to a 3-centimeter stippling pattern, the weapon was in a close proximity to Thomas's head. This would be a straight-up execution-style shot. The gunshot wounds to the back of Thomas also indicates these wounds were inflicted after he was shot in the head, as the projectiles entered Thomas's back when he was leaning to the left. Evidence from the autopsy revealed that both victims' wound paths to their heads were from a left to right direction. This direction contradicts the statements made by Henry and does not support the statements of a drive-by shooting that...
Yo, but if that's the case, how is he free? How is Henry free? Because that's the nigga who was the driver. How is he free if y'all think he witnessed this and was a part of this murder and lied about it? So something don't make sense, bro.
Occurred on the right side of the vehicle. Basically, they think Melly shot both of his friends point blank. Then they drove around trying to come up with a story, then staged a drive-by to make it look more convincing. And obviously, the police have garnered a lot of evidence to support that. Because of Melly's music about guns, murder, and admitting to having another personality, Melvin, who is reckless, unpredictable, and willing to kill, he hasn't exactly made himself seem like the most innocent man in the world. Most of his fans claim that this is just art. It's too common for rappers to make songs that glorify violence, gang activity, and all kinds of heinous crimes. This is all just for entertainment, and Melly is actually a good person. And when it...
Bro, what y'all think, man? What do y'all think, bro? Did he do it or not? I'm gonna end the video there, because now he just gonna talk about what he think. What do y'all think, bro? Do y'all think Melly did it? Do y'all think he didn't do it? Like, I want to know, because...
to the music, it's hard to accuse someone of crimes based on that. But I think we can all agree some of his...
Bro, I don't know, man. I will say Melly was on some demonic shit, but I really do think it was a part of the image, and he possibly do got two personalities, but do y'all really think he bodied his two best friends that he grew up with from the dirt? Like, let me know what y'all think in the comments, bro. I'm remaining free Melly, bro, just because they don't got no clear evidence. I haven't seen no clear evidence. If they did, they'd have been putting that on the news and all that, you know what I'm saying? So, let me know what y'all think, bro. His mans is out on bail right now, so would they have let his mans out on bail who would be accessory to murder? Because that's how that go. You in a car with them, you lied about it, drove them to the hospital saying it was a drive-by, you know what I mean? Let me know what y'all think, Jimmy Gang. I'm off this nasty. I'll see y'all in the next one, man.